this is Amy. Thanks so much for stopping back. I appreciate your constant viewing of my videos, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe before you leave it and actually hit the bell so that you get notifications when I am posting something new. Now this wine glass tonight that I'm painting is a 10.5 ounce. It's basically a multi-purpose wine glass. It's not really specific to red or white wine. And what I'm doing is putting the pattern that I painted on the black cardstock and posted in my last video and showing you how I'm applying it to a painted wine glass. Anyways, I think it turned out really nice, kind of unique little touch there. And basically, to get started, I already went ahead and pounced on, it's a what's it called? I'm trying to think of the name of the paint. It is Frost White, and I decided to do that because, like in most of my videos, I'm trying to put a base of some color or of some sort on my glass before I paint my designs, just to help the design to be more opaque, plus the durability because of the paint being a little bit thicker. That will help you have your painted wine glass for many years to come. So I just used a Scruffy Brush and pounced that on. It's just one color. And this is a Scruffy Brush if you're not familiar with them. Mine's a little ragged. But I just put the paint on and basically went like this around the glass until it completely covered the area that I was looking for. Trying to get this to where it's not so up close. Anyways, I just went a little bit down on the stem around the ball of the glass, and then just left a space, what would you say, maybe ½ inch, 3/4 inch around the top, just so that when you're drinking from it, your lip isn't coming into contact with the paint. Paint is actually non-toxic, so more than likely it wouldn't harm you if you did, but it's just for safety purposes. Alright, so let's get started. Paint I'm using is berry wine, yellow ochre, sunflower yellow, warm white, coffee bean, thicket, peridot. Peridot, I believe, is the only multi-surface paint that I'm using on this project. And then pure orange. And like I mentioned, I did the white on here, and that's Frost White. And I went ahead and did that earlier just so that it would dry and I could be able to go ahead and create the design without having to have you wait while it dried or whatnot. It's pretty easy to paint on. If you want, if you're not able to eyeball and you want it to be more exact, do some tape around the top, you know, to create that, and that will actually make it look a little bit more uniform. In the painting tonight, I'm going to be using a number 10 glass flat brush. It's one stroke. And I'm also going to be using, my eyes are kind of blurry tonight, a number 8 flat brush. A round brush, but I'm not sure what the size is. As you can see, it's pretty worn. And then my stylus to do some dotting. Alright, so I'm going to have one main open flower, and that is going to be the, what I want to say, the focus of my glass. I will be using the yellow ochre and the warm white to create those petals. And they're pretty easy petals. Just some basic, and I don't know why I always do this, but I typically start at the top, do the top petal first. Now when you're painting, you can actually just start with your top petal, or the first petal, whatever direction you want it to be, and then you can do it kind of like turn it and do another petal that direction and keep filling in. I personally just keep filling in petals right next to each other. But it's whatever you're most comfortable with. It's pretty much how you should do it. And get the look that you want. You know, what are you actually trying to achieve? Alright. And it's just a basic stroke here where I'm touching, hopefully you can see this, I'm touching, pulling it, and then just coming around. If you want to fill it in, you can go back over it. You know, if you don't like the consistency between the warm white and the yellow ochre, you can go back over it again. But since I did this base coat, it helps me create a more opaque look, because I do have that. If I were doing it just on the glass itself without that, it probably wouldn't be as opaque, and I might have to go over it more times than just once or twice. And I think it gives it a neat look just to have a background too. And I could have done it in another color, but I just decided, hey, I think that might look nice with the colors that I'm using on this flower. So that's why I chose to do the white like I did. Alright, so then what I'm going to do is just go back through here and continue on with the same type of stroke. And with this glass being smaller, you know, there's not as much room as when you're doing on the larger glasses, so you kind of have to watch your spacing a little bit. I've already cleaned the glass. You know, I'm not showing you that part, but I've already cleaned it. Make sure that you do that before you begin your painting. You can wash it, warm sudsy water. If you wish to clean it with the denatured rubbing alcohol, you know, that's fine too. You can do both. You're going to do one or the other. It's up to you. The main thing is that you're getting, you know, dust and grime off of it, and any kind of fingerprints, oil from your fingers, that type of thing, just so that it helps the paint adhere to the glass. That's the main reason for it. Alright. See how many I've done so far. I'm almost done with the flower petals. So make sure I'm on my camera. Someday I'll perfect this, I promise. Like I said, they're not going to be identical. Can't stress that enough. You know, when you're doing free-handed hand painting, or when you're doing free-handed painting, you know, it's not going to be identical. It's going to be similar, but not identical. Cannot stress that enough. Alright, so I have my main flower. Now I'm going to go ahead and use some of the coffee bean, which is the brown. And I'm going to load my brush also with some more of the warm white. And then put my center in here. And centers are kind of fun. I mean, you can do what I'm doing. If you have a different type of a center you'd rather see in the middle of your flower, that's fine too. This is just kind of a unique one that I thought, hey, yeah, I'm going to start with that. Okay, I'm really crazy about this end right here. So that's why I say you can go back over stuff. It's okay. You know, to work it, get the look that you want, you know, before you finish it. That's fine. Okay, and actually I probably, before I did that, should have put my little buds in. And if you're not sure what I'm referring to, you know, please check out my video that I did, my last video that I posted, because it'll show you what I painted on the black cardstock. and give you an idea of what kind of look I'm actually going for and what I'm trying to create on this glass. Again, it's a not something that has to be created identical. It's just a thought. And this is just going to be a bud, like a closed part of the flower with the petals there. And I want a line right here, but not a real distinct one. That's why I'm working hard to try to make it not be quite as noticeable. Or, you know, I want it noticeable, but not a real stark line. Alright, now I'm going to turn my glass, go over here, put another bud on this side. And basically I'm just touching and pulling, trying to get a more rounded tip to it if possible, not necessarily a pointed one, but not completely round either. I'm just tipping my edge of my brush into the coffee bean. And this part might take a little working on to get it just the way you want. But just so you know, it may take a little bit of... You could double load your brush with this color. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit darker than this one, but that's fine. It's good. It's alright. Okay. Then the next thing I'm going to do, rinse out my brush. And I am going to now use the berry wine and the warm white to create some rosebuds. And I do like to work in odd numbers. So here I go. Alright, and these are just going to be little buds. And you can work these too, you know, if you don't like the color that you're getting, you can paint over them and start again if you want. But they're pretty easy. You're just kind of doing a stroke like that. I like to go in the center, pull it around, and then come over here and create the look as if maybe there's some other petals that have rolled up in there as well. Then I'm going to turn this and come in here with another rosebud. Got a little bit of yellow on there. As you can see, it's because I got some of the yellow ochre in my white. Yeah, there you go. Pretty easy. Then what I'm going to do is take my stylus, I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, take my stylus and start putting some dots on here. Now if any of you can remember, dots for me are not the easiest things to create, because I have a tendency to have them have big points on them, and or they're kind of mashed looking. I am using a variety of colors on this. I'm using the yellow ochre, the sunflower. I will throw a little bit of the coffee bean into it as well. You could even add some of the berry wine if you wanted. It's basically just so you can see it. because with using these colors that are kind of similar or close in range. I'm also using some of the warm white. If you like my videos, please make sure you subscribe. If you know anyone else that you think might like what I'm doing or what I create, please share my videos with them. I ask that they also subscribe if they would. I would love to have, try to build my following as much as possible. It's kind of one of my focuses right now. And then the last one I'm going to do is the pure orange. And again, the reason I'm putting the orange in is to just give it some more color. There's quite a few dots on here, which is fine. It's pretty full. But I think it's pretty. I'd like to know what you think. Please leave a comment in the section below the video. If there's something in particular you'd like to see me paint, feel free to make that request. I'd love to hear from you. And at this point, wash my brush out again. And if you don't care about carrying colors over to the next thing, you can just kind of wipe the brush off a little bit and continue on if you want. Okay, so what I'm going to do on the next part is put my little leaves around my little rosebuds here. And these are pretty easy. I'm just kind of like touching and pulling. Just touching and pulling them. And then I'll go up the center here like that. And then I can also just kind of make a little stem. Gotta kind of turn my glass a little bit here so I can continue on with these little leaves. I hope you like this pattern. I'd really like to hear from you. If you think it's something pretty. When I was doing it, after I got finished, I'm thinking, this would be a pretty idea for holiday glasses. Not with this pattern per se, but to use this white, this frost white, and then paint maybe like poinsettias, something to that effect on it. What do you think? Alright. This is my favorite part, is painting the green, the leaves. Alright, so I'm on the bud now, still using the peridot and the thicket for my color combinations. And you'll find when you're painting glass, or when you paint anything, that you'll come up with your favorite color combinations. It's alright to veer from whatever somebody else is doing and create your own combinations. Perfectly fine. This is just a real simple, pretty much like a double Alright, moving on to the next bud. I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm just basically touching and wiggling. That's all I'm doing. And do it again, and the colors are going in the same direction. It's just kind of like a double leaf, I guess is the best way I can describe it. That. Like that. And then do another one. Like I said, I work in threes. odd numbers. Whoops, I'll go over this one a little bit more. And see how easy it is. You know, you don't like the color or maybe the crispness of the leaf, then go over it. It's fine. Perfectly fine to do that. Not a problem. Alright, now I'm going to go back through here, add another leaf to this one, and see how I'm hitting over the bud. It's fine, because when you put together a floral arrangement, you are not going to have your buds or your leaves not overlapped something that you've got in that bundle. So you have to keep that in mind. It's okay to do that. Alright, so then what I'm going to do, okay, I need to do this very quickly. My camera is actually starting to run out of juice here. Alright, so I'm going to, oh, I did that the wrong direction. Just do these rounded leaves. Get it a little bit darker. I'm going to come back through there, pull a little vine through there. Now, you can do a couple together if you wish. Alright, sorry about the interruption here. I ran out of filming time on my camera. I had to get that taken care of. Alright, so what I'm doing here is just adding some leaves throughout the glass, and these are the bigger leaves. Now I can actually do them all green, the darker green on the outside, or the lighter green on the outside, or kind of switch them up and do a little bit of each. It really doesn't matter. It's just more of a rounded kind of a petal. And let's see here. Let's add a couple over here if I can. Not really my favorite leaf, but it'll do. Just kind of hard, like I said, with the spacing on this, because the glass is not that big. It's just hard to really get a lot of leaves in here. I'm just trying to see how many I added on that one. Not really that many. Alright, well, I am going to leave it at this for these leaves. And I think what I'm going to do is come back over here for it to make sense and go like that. Maybe even add another little leaf down here. Like I said, I'm a big leaf person. If you're not, I'm sorry, but I really like a lot of leaves. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is, I think on this one, I'm looking at this thinking I really want to add some more color to it. It kind of got washed out. There we go. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do some little bit of vining. Bring some vines in here to add, just to add some interest. Fillers, kind of filler vines. I like the filler vines. I think they're fun. They're definitely fun. I mean, you can actually have them come up over your glass if you want them to, or not your glass, but your leaves. I might do a little bit of that on this one. And again, it's going to be different than the other glass that I painted. It's not going to be identical. Really not even shooting for that, to be honest with you. Alright, let me just see where else maybe I can add some. Alright, then what I'm going to do is use the little round brush and add these little leaves to my little vines that I just did. And they're just basically just kind of touch. Just going to touch and pull. And they're going to vary some. I am using the warm white and some of the sunflower and a little bit of the yellow ochre. Not a lot of the yellow ochre at all, just a little bit. I'll just turn, and again I'm just touching and pulling. It's pretty easy. Touch, pull, touch, touch, pull. And you got to keep in mind too that some of the paint, like the green on the green, is still wet, so you might be pulling some green into it. That's fine. If you don't like that, then you can go back over it with maybe a darker color. Let's see, it's going back in here. See how pretty that is? I mean, you're just filling in, just giving it some more color, basically, is what you're doing. Again, I'd like to hear from you if you have any ideas or if you have any designs of your own, and if you've attempted to paint any of my designs and want to share what you've painted. Love to see it. I love when we share our ideas. Share our work. It's one of the fun things about doing this, is seeing what everybody else is doing too. It just gets you a really nice, fun glass to drink from. It's just coming out of the bottom here a little bit. Alright, there you go. guess that's just pretty easy, pretty easy. And I try to keep my designs easy, as I've mentioned in the past, just so that you are able to do it. That it's not limited to people with a lot of experience in painting. Now, a couple things I'm going to do here with the little filler flowers that I just did. I am going to go back with my stylus, do the pure orange, and then just put some dots with it. And the reason for this is just to give some more color to the glass. I really like this stylus. This is one that's more for like nails. It's a one stroke, or not one stroke, but a Donna Dewberry product. Like I said, this just kind of adds some more interest to it. Anything you can do to add some kind of interest, or whether it's shading or adding some life to the petals, like the flower petals, making them show movement. It all adds interest to your product, to your project. And just see how easy this is. And it's still pretty. I mean, I think it's pretty. So I might try this similar concept on maybe some, like a poinsettia painting or something to that effect. Just checking it out, making sure that I've added dots to all my flowers. And it looks like that I did. Alright. I'm trying to think, just make sure I didn't forget anything. I did forget to, with my little brush, what I'm going to do is add some movement on the petals of the flower. And by that I'm just meaning like some folds, making it look like the leaves have folded over a little bit. And I'm just randomly placing, doing this kind of thing to the petals in different places. Doesn't have to be in the same place or places on the flowers, but it can if you want it to be. Just like I said, anything that you can add to show movement, you show the leaves moving a little bit, or because in nature it's not all perfect. It just isn't. Just like life. Just like life, it's just not all perfect. So it can be close, but it's just not. Go this direction with this, maybe it'll look better. Alright, I think I'm just going to leave it like that. Like I said, I'm not doing every petal, just giving it in just a variety of different places here. And then my last thing that I'm doing, and I forgot to mention, that I'm using the gold metallic paint, the Bogart Gold. I gotta make sure it's open. Sorry. So I just opened the tip and it dried. My eyes are getting tired. And I decided to do this. Sorry. Get my tip to work. Just to kind of finish it off is just to go around the top here and around the bottom where I stopped at on the actual stem of the glass, and just sporadically, well, I shouldn't say sporadically, but just kind of go through and draw a line on here. And I love these lids that I use on my bottles. It used to be this one kind that you'd be able to just put a tip on your bottle, but it wouldn't stay. It would keep popping off and get clogged up all the time. Alright. I think that gives it a really nice finish. Like I said, they're not identical, not intended to be, but are similar. And can you imagine hosting a party and having friends come over and be able to serve them out of a really fun, pretty glass that you created yourself? How awesome would that be? Once again, thanks so much for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed my video. Make sure that you hit the like, thumbs up, share, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and stop back on the next video. Thanks again. Have a good evening.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting